For weeks, Emma allowed herself to believe in the quiet flame. She and Daniel slipped into a rhythm that felt almost natural, as though the years between them had been nothing more than a pause. They shared mornings over coffee, afternoons between words and sketches, evenings where silence no longer frightened them. Her mother had stopped asking questions, the look in her eyes said she knew the answers already. Emma felt lighter, though part of her feared that lightness, afraid of how fragile it was. Happiness, she had learned, had a habit of slipping away just when she thought she could hold it. And then came the storm. It began with whispers, little signs Emma tried to ignore. Daniel canceling dinner because of urgent work. His phone buzzing late at night with messages he didn't always explain. The way his smile sometimes faltered, as though hiding something he didn't want her to see. Emma told herself not to overthink. But overthinking was her nature, and soon doubts began to gnaw at her. One evening, after waiting an hour in the cafe where they had agreed to meet, Emma finally left. Daniel had texted only once, "I can't make it. I'll explain later." But later never came. When she confronted him the next day, he looked tired, his jaw tense. "I'm sorry," he said. "The project, it's complicated. Investors, deadlines. I can't afford mistakes." Emma wanted to believe him. She did believe him. But the shadow of old wounds lingered. "You could have told me," she said softly. "I didn't want to worry you." The words stung more than silence. "Daniel, I don't need protection. I need honesty." His eyes softened, but he didn't promise. And Emma realized then that some battles weren't against the past, they were against the present. The real fracture came days later. Emma had been walking home when she overheard two men outside the construction site, their voices carrying through the night air. "They'll never finish on time," one said. "Too many corners cut." Not surprised, the other replied. "He's desperate, taking deals he shouldn't." Rumor is the whole thing's at risk of collapse, figuratively and literally. Emma froze, her pulse quickening. Daniel? Desperate? Cutting corners? The Daniel she knew would never compromise safety. But the Daniel she saw lately, the one with sleepless eyes and unspoken worries, she wasn't so sure. The doubt festered. That night, when Daniel came over, Emma confronted him. "Is it true?" she demanded. He blinked. "Is what true? That the project's in trouble? That you're taking risks?" Daniel's face hardened. "Where did you hear that?" "It doesn't matter. Just tell me." His silence was answer enough. Emma's voice trembled. "Why didn't you say anything? Why do you always shut me out?" "Because you don't understand." Daniel snapped, louder than he intended. "This isn't about us, it's about everything I've worked for. If I fail now, I lose everything. And I can't," his voice broke. "I can't lose again." Emma flinched, the word striking deeper than he knew. Lose again. He meant her. Tears burned her eyes. "You think keeping me in the dark will save you? Daniel, that's what destroyed us before. You don't get it, do you? Love isn't about carrying the weight alone. It's about sharing it." For a long moment, neither spoke. Rain began to fall outside, tapping against the window like fingers desperate to be heard. Finally, Emma whispered, "I can't go through this again. Not if you keep shutting me out." Daniel's expression softened, regret flickering across his face. But he didn't move toward her. He didn't say the words she needed. So Emma walked away. The storm outside raged through the night, but the real storm lived inside Emma's chest. She sat by her window, watching lightning tear through the sky, her heart aching with both anger and longing. She wanted to call him, to beg him to let her in. But pride and fear held her back. Somewhere across the city, Daniel sat alone in his apartment, the blueprint spread before him, rain dripping from his hair. He stared at the lines he had drawn, the future he was trying to build, and felt the walls closing in. He wanted to call her. To explain. To admit he was afraid. But pride and fear held him back, too. For days, they didn't see each other. Emma buried herself in writing, pouring her pain into pages she tore up afterward. Daniel buried himself in work, chasing deadlines that seemed to move further away the harder he ran. The city felt heavier without him. And yet, Emma told herself she was stronger this way. Safer. Until the night everything broke. It was late, the storm returning with renewed fury. Emma was walking home when she heard sirens. They grew louder as she neared the square. A crowd had gathered, faces pale, eyes wide. The construction site. Emma's heart stopped. She pushed through the crowd, rain soaking her hair, her breath coming in sharp gasps. She saw flashing lights, the crumbled scaffolding, the chaos of voices shouting orders. And then, Daniel. He stood near the wreckage, his clothes streaked with dust and rain, his face pale but determined as he spoke to firefighters. Relief surged through Emma, her knees nearly giving way. He was alive. But in his eyes, she saw something that shook her more than the collapse itself, despair. When he noticed her, his expression faltered. For a moment, neither moved. Then Emma crossed the distance, rain blurring her tears. "Daniel," she whispered, her voice breaking. He didn't reach for her. Didn't speak. He only looked at her as though she were both salvation and punishment. And in that moment, Emma understood, this storm was only beginning.